We're gonna move the president.
Yeah. We're taking over.
We're taking over. So
got it.
we got it. Yeah, we got it. I'm Misty Herr, and Fong and I were. We weren't asked when Dr. Bond was putting this together. She said, "Are there anyone who knows about Dr. Ng and Dr. Howard that can speak?" And I immediately said, "I would love to say a few words." So together, the two of us, about 8 minutes each.
We'll make it short.
So I'm gonna go first. In the fall of 1992, I was 17 years old. And I first met Dr. Howard in the first week that I was here on campus. I was a little lost 17-year-old girl, the first in my family to go to college. I had no idea what I was doing. I don't even know how I ended up here at Fresno State. Honestly, to tell you the truth, I don't even know how I registered for my classes or which classes to take. I came onto a campus, and for the first week, I went from class to class, and no one looked like me. And I didn't know what to do. And one night I got a personal call from Dr. Howard. I have no idea how she found my name or how she got a hold of me or anything like that. But she called me and she said, "I would like for you to come meet with me tomorrow. I have a mentoring group that I'm working with, and I think I can help you." So I showed up to her class the next morning, and I have to tell all of you, that was probably the best thing that ever happened to me in my life, because that meeting changed the course of who I am and set the course for my path. And what happened was, I'm not going to look at you because then I'm going to get emotional, so I'm going to look out in the back. But when I didn't know how to get help, she showed me how to get help. When I couldn't get the classes, she literally went with me to those professors and said, "I'm not going to leave until you register her in your class." And when I did not know how to go get resources, she would literally take me across campus and show me, "This is where you go study in the library. This is where you go here and go there." And I will tell you, there was also a time when I started failing my math class because someone here told me I was not good in math.
All right, so we're going to start in 10 seconds. It's a full house. So, wow, a lot of love here, a lot of love. Full house. A lot of people love Dr. Ng and Dr. Howard. It's a full house. All right, everyone, so today, if you take a look, we are celebrating Dr. Franklin Ng and Dr. Katsuyo Howard. This is not. Okay. So this event is about spreading Asian joy and love. My name is Professor Jenny Bond. I'm the Associate Professor in Asian Studies, also the coordinator. I really love. So I really love. Of course, I love Asian culture, but I love people spreading Asian love and joy. I hope this is okay. I don't know if I should turn this off. It's better? It's better? No, never mind. So it says it's a little bit. Okay. Turn it down? Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Turn it back on?
Yeah, turn it back on.
Testing. Testing? Oh,
Is it on?
testing, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, lovely. Okay, awesome. All right. Actually, I am so overwhelmed from this love that I feel in this room. Yeah, it's just overwhelming, the love that I can feel towards Dr. Ng and Dr. Howard. I hope you can feel it, because there's a lot of people here. And, I was thinking last night, thinking about, I have 2 minutes to speak. Okay? When I was thinking about what can I say in 2 minutes, right? I was thinking about people who create seeds. We create seeds. and I never will see the forest or sit underneath the forest and trees that they make. And that actually really made me think of Dr. Howard and Dr. Ng. They were here for 40 years. Seeds, 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 seeds. Look at all of us. We are all the forest. We are the forest, and we want to thank you so much for what you did for us. So I cannot convey to you my joy and happiness that you, and I know that your ancestors speak through you, but you are our elders, and today we really want to honor you. So again, I cannot tell you how much you mean to us. So I'm going to start this event by talking about kind of good luck and also lifting up the vibrations, okay? Now, in Chinese culture and in Asian culture and Southeast Asian culture, you know, dragons are not like scary. Dragons bring good luck, right guys? Like seen the movie Raya, okay? And we have to make a lot of noises with a dragon because actually it kills away the evil spirits, right? So today we're going to show our love and raise our vibrations for Dr. Howard and Dr. Ng by having some noise. Do you guys think you can make some noise? All right. So I think we need some noise, guys. Dragon Dancers, I think we need some noise. do the thank yous. Thank you, Provost Fu, for coming, as well as Dean Loham, as well as Fong Yang, Misty He, Kimberly Chen, Reverend Kiko, John Pryor, Yang Xiao Zhang, Gina Gong, Keiko Howard, brother and husband as well, husband to and wife to Dr. Howard, Dr. Ng, Amri Dahl, Leon Nguyen, Leanna Jensen, Maxine Zhang and her dancers, Dr. Howard, Dr. Ng, Cross Cultural Center, Kathy Moa, the Gandhi Center, Vina Howard, Southeast Asian Center, Shamel Seichao, Asian faculty staff, Amran Ru, Anthropology Chair, Deborah Saxon, former Chair, Henry Delcourt, also the 175 and 148, my student volunteers, thank you. Samuel Contreras, our documentarian, Tony Skibbons, Isabella Bonilla, and all the musical performers and all the donors, thank you so much.
Good evening, everyone. I'm very happy, very excited to be here this evening with you. I want to thank everyone besides what Dr. Bong has given her thanks, especially to Dr. Bong herself for organizing this event. I want to say a few words to honor the two of our pioneers in our field, in our discipline, and on this very campus. For both of them, the over 40 years of service. Dr. Howard and Dr. N have something in common. They are servant scholars. Both of them have numerous publications, books, book chapters, journal review, peer-reviewed journal articles, reports, presentations, but silently, persistently, over the 4 decades, their equally important contribution is to serve the community, serve our students, serve fellow Southeast Asian faculty and staff. They never brag about it. They represent the best, quote unquote, the Asian cultural model of a scholar. You do your work honestly, seeking truth, rely on evidence to make your discoveries. You respect each other, but you are humble. You are modest. You give the highlight to others. You give honor to others. You are happy doing your work, giving service. You never try to attract attention. Especially Dr. Howard, when we think about her legacy, she started mentoring, supporting, promoting Southeast Asian students 2 decades ago, when most of people were not aware of the challenge of this particular population in Fresno. Today, we all know that their success, our Asian student success, is our success. So our 2 pioneers presented us the best model for us to be a good professor, good manager, good staff member, good student, but also how to lead our life with modesty, with hard work, with service to others. I also want to add a personal touch here. Dr. N, I take him as my mentor. We have something in common. We both live in Hawaii. So when I first moved from Hawaii to Fresno, he came to my office to introduce himself. I was so happy to find a senior mentor with a similar background. And he is truly the role model for me, how to lead an honest academic life, provide service. But I also want to say he is a fighter. he discovers injustice, discrimination, misunderstanding, especially when those were directed to the Asian community. He stood up, he fought. So I want to thank both of them, and I want to ask you and encourage you to live a life like the life they've been living. And now, because there are some others, today, this evening is a time we honor them and let them be in the spotlight. Thank you.
And she said, you will go to class and you will pass this class. And what do you need to pass the class? And so, Dr. Howard, I think this is so long overdue. And I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. You were first my professor, and then you became my friend, and then became my mentor, and then you became my coach. And every time I went through life, she kept up with me. When I graduated and I got my first job, the first call was from Dr. Howard. Hey, I heard you got a teaching job. How are you doing? And then when I had my first baby, she said, hey, I heard you had a baby. Do you need parenting skills? I had no clue what I was doing. And when I became a vice principal and a principal, the first call was from her. The first flowers were sent from her to tell me how proud she was of me. And when I decided to leave the school district, the site, and to go into the district office, again, that first call was from you. And you sent me the nicest note. And she said, I always knew you were special, and I always knew you had it in you. And it matters. And I cannot tell all of you that representation matters. It matters. It matters because after several years, Dr. Ng, I took your Asian American class, and I finally had a professor who looked like me, who understood me, and in your books and in what you were having us reading, you talked about Hmong people. And it was the first time in my life that someone talked about my people. And it made my experience here at Fresno State so much better because of people like you and people like you. And how this guy ended up knowing Dr. Howard was I would go to these mentoring sessions and he was like, let's not go do that, let's go do something else. And I would say, do you want to come with me one day? And so he shows up one day and Dr. Howard goes, well, if I'm going to mentor her, I might as well mentor you too. So I'll let Fong talk about his experience.
Dr. Howard, not too bad, right? Where we came from, and I can't look at you either. But in 1992, I met two very important women in my life. One right here and one right here, right? And I do want to thank you, Dr. Howard. It's because of you that I'm here. You may not realize it, but you're like the mother that my mother that could not go, was never going to college. You were the mother at Fresno State who kept telling me, Fong, you can do it, you can be better. There's big things for you. And like I didn't know what I was doing. I was just here at Fresno State trying to get a degree. But you were there, and in your gentle way, you were just kind of like guiding me towards the right path. And even when we didn't know what we were doing. We were first generation. We were trying to figure things out. And you came in and you inserted yourself in our lives, and not just in college, but you kept up with us. And there's not many people that you meet at an institution where they become your teacher, they become your mentor, but they also become your friends. And you taught us a really valuable lesson that one person can make a huge impact on even little people who don't know what they're doing. And because of you, I really believe that that's why we are here in the positions that we're at, because somebody believed in me and in Misty in 1992. And there's no way that we can repay you for everything, the good deeds and the kindness that you've offered us. But we learn from you, and we that's why we're doing what we do, because we also believe that through your generosity and your kindness that we need to do the same thing to other people, because we never know what they could become. So I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I want to thank Dr. Ng, because when I first came to Fresno State, I never knew that there's this thing called Asian Americans, what it is to be Asian, and that I'm not the only kind of Asians. That there are a lot of Asians, actually everybody, and all the Asians are important. But Dr. Howard really took interest in the very different type of Asian. One thing I remember about Dr. Howard telling me was that, Fong, not all Asians are the same. And I was like, well, really? She goes, yeah. She said, not every, you have to know who they are in order to help them, because not everybody, even though they may come from the same continent, they have different background, they have different history, and you have to learn them to better support them. And Dr. Howard, I just remember your office that says Southeast Asian, I think it was Southeast Asian study, and Southeast Asian support or something like that. And I saw Southeast Asian, well, that's me. And you specifically cater your services to the Southeast Asian students just like me, and you understood me. You even went back to Thailand to learn about me so that you come and help me. So I appreciate that, and I want to thank you, I want to celebrate you, and I love you. You paid me.
But I also want to thank your family, because I know that you guys gave your mom to us, and you had to share her with us. And there was a lot of hours, and there was probably a lot of time away from you. So thank you for sharing her with all of us. And I just, want to let you both know that she was incredible, and the impact that she had was not just on our lives, but also in our hearts. Thank you.
I was trying not to lose it the moment they talked, and then the moment I saw your face, like, oh my God. This has been 32 years since we've seen each other. And okay, I was trying to channel my theatrical training and not gonna fly, and I wrote something, and I'm gonna have to stick to it. I had a PowerPoint presentation that had over 16 slides, and I said, oh my God, this is show and tell, and I can't. Anyway, bottom line now, because I didn't, technology advances so much, a flash drive doesn't work anymore, so bear with me, and I'm just gonna start. Good evening. Thank you, Dr. Bond and her colleagues, for creating this fantastic scholarship honoring the phenomenal Katsuyo Howard and Dr. Ng, and for putting this uniting and reuniting event together. What an incredible privilege to stand before you tonight and testify to the impact of the guidance, inspiration, and care shared by Dr. Howard and Dr. Ng. I was fortunate to meet both at Fresno State in the early 90s. They helped me learn more about Asian cultures, Asian and American history, and subsequently helped me shape my identity.
They supported my interest in theater arts when some even still today don't consider theater to be a legitimate academic field of study. Thank you both for recognizing the power and importance of the performing arts. Dr. Howard and Dr. Ng inspired me to adapt 2 plays that are Asian-focused productions, Passages and Celestials, The Chinese Question. 1991 and 92 were seminal times spent with Katsuyo. She was the coordinator of the Southeast Asian Student Services at Fresno State at the time. And I came across her book, Passages, in the campus bookstore. I immediately wanted to meet her and ask her if I could adapt it for a theatrical production. She was so warm and welcoming, and I was so impressed that an Asian woman had such a huge office upstairs and big windows on the Fresno State campus. Whew. Yes, I said, she must be formidable. Yeah, and she is. We performed Passages at various places around California. Dr. Eddie Manuel, another incredible mentor, the director of Passages, through his tenacity, earned the production California Senate recognition, and Passages also received congressional recognition, and through Dr. Za in Tokyo, Japan. Passages led me to a commissioned play that I titled Celestials, The Chinese Question. The King Players in Hanford, California commissioned the play for their 1995 Autumn Moon Festival. We performed a revised Celestials in 2022. Celestials was inspired by Dr. Ng's teaching in his Asian American Studies course. The verbatim theater covered early Chinese immigration to the United States, ending with Angel Island injustices. Passages paved the way to a job at Fresno's United Way.
How big the campus is now. But going back, the first time, I still remember when I met Dr. Ng, if I remember correctly. I took one of his American Asian courses. I definitely know just by teaching his courses over the years, he's probably been a fairly advanced person who promoted the history of Asians in America, but also in their own words. In my generation, that knowledge was very severely lacking throughout my formative education, and I really hope it's different now. I know he's left his mark as an educator from personal experience. I was also an active member, actually, of the Amerasia Club as well, and the Japanese Student Association in my last 2 years of undergrad, and I remember the experience to be very rewarding. I remember very distinctly feeling supported in our activities by the leaders of each club, as well as our advisors, who just happen to be Dr. Howard and Dr. Ng. And then really, it was a long time ago. But thinking back, actually the dancers actually kind of brought stuff back for me. But Amerasia Week just stands out in my memory as well. This was a very positive experience, just being in the process of actually coordinating with other people in the group. And I think I started understanding my own identity as a second generation Japanese American. Having watched many Amerasia Weeks, tagging along with my mother over the decade prior, it just kind of seemed full circle for me, just being in that program. I don't really remember what my mom said or how she looked by the end of that week. She probably looked pretty tired. But I know she was proud of us on that night, and she was every year of her students. My mother has always been dedicated to her students. This was evident to me from my earliest memory of sitting in my mother's office, probably about 8 years old, when she was a counselor at the International Student Office. I was reminded of this watching her proudly walk down the aisle in her cap and gown at the recent Amerasia graduation ceremony. She created a safe space for many students, and I actually think she used to call herself their personal cheerleader. So thank you for showing my mother how much her life's work has been appreciated by the Central Valley Asian community. And then thank you for Dr. Ng as well for also being a great advisor, and I hope you're enjoying your retirement. Thank you.
Such an honor to be here on this evening of celebrating Dr. Ng and Dr. Howard. A red suitcase. This was the one piece of luggage Katsuyo-san brought to this foreign land in 1972. That suitcase has now become a lifelong symbol for her of dreams, of adventure, of hopes, of ways of living and being in the world that she just couldn't find in her native country of Japan. In that suitcase, she also brought with her the unconditional love of her parents, her dad's affection for her, her mother's 4 a.m. wisdom shared on the futon, to trust her inner power and stay true to her core being. Treasured family conversations were also tucked in, ones that revolved around issues facing the wider community and just solutions, ones that would go on to inform her work here at Fresno State. A self-proclaimed hippie, I think we can all acknowledge that Katsuyo-san is an atypical Japanese woman. From a young age, she was a critical thinker and asked many questions in class, much to the chagrin of most of her teachers. She is spunky, energetic, expressive, vivacious, open-minded. She loves people. Her drive to establish the Southeast Asian Refugee Program here at Fresno State. It was here in the US that she found a sense of home, a place where she is accepted for who she is, and a place that welcomes her energy, her out-of-the-box thinking, her desire to go deep, her enthusiasm to never stop learning. Katsuyo-san is a connector of concepts and ideas, of people and stories. It is my honor and charge this evening to lift up a community that has been crucial to Katsuyo-san's thriving here in Fresno, one that allows her exploration of these connections, and that is the Japanese American community. From the time she arrived, it has nurtured her. Not knowing anyone when she first came, Fresno State connected her with the local Japanese Christian communities, as well as the Fresno Buddhist Temple, where she taught her first Japanese class. Katsuyo-san has also devoted energy to the Japanese American Citizens League, the JACL, in their scholarship program. She has advocated for nuclear disarmament with a local group and traveled to Hiroshima with them. Many of us saw her in the fields of Hanford at the Clark Center for Japanese Art and Culture, where she was a docent. With the Kochi Sister Cities group, she coordinated a student exchange program between Kochi University and Fresno State. With the CSU International program, she accompanied over 20 CSU students to Waseda University for 1 year, while also teaching there. She shares deep gratitude for the Japanese Methodist and congregational communities who showed her welcome and ministry, including the lay visitation team that serves seniors. She plays with the Clovis Heiwa Taiko. She sings in the church choir, is a member of the Welcome Committee and the Nichigobu Japanese Language Ministry. She is part of the committee exploring formal LGBTQ inclusion and has marched in the Pride Parade as part of our contingent. Katsuyo-san often contacts me asking how she can help, and I enlist her with every request for translation or language lessons that we get. She is even willing to go out of her comfort zone and help with children's events. She was instrumental before and during the pandemic, making sure our own Japanese American speaking members knew that they were cared for and valued. Whatever it is, she brings enthusiasm and affirmation. She inspires and cheers us on. So this evening, it is a joy to celebrate Dr. Katsuyo Howard's goodness and her many contributions to our beloved valley. She calls Fresno the place of her rebirth, and we give thanks that it was here that she found a spiritual home in the wilds of Yosemite, where she continued her academic studies, where she met her husband, beloved, steady center, John, where she raised her children, ultimately where she found connection and belonging. Thanks be to God for Katsuyo-san. And to think that it all began with that trusty red suitcase by her side.
off, but I guess we'll have to do it that way.
But he is not only an amazing scholar, he's also a gentleman. He is a gentle man. I have never heard him say a bad thing about anyone, and that certainly is amazing. He's been a mentor for so many generations of students. I've been lucky enough to watch that process. It is like a stone that falls into quiet water and you see it rippling out in time and space. And I think I see that today here. I also can say that, what wonderful words from such special people. And I feel certainly inadequate in that sense. Franklin was a mentor to me as a young faculty member, and he taught me about the diversity of the Southeast Asian and Asian populations and the students that I would end up teaching. And so a big thank you to that. He would always send wonderful, supportive emails and continue to do that after he retired. I like to think that anthropology was kind of a little bit of a safe harbor in a time at the university when it really probably wasn't as supportive of the Southeast Asian community as it should be. And, so I've been here long enough to see the Southeast Asian program grow and flower into a wonderful tree and bush, and that to see it now as a vibrant and strong program, and hopefully, let's knock on wood or knock on plastic, that it will be a department very soon. And so to actually have multiple tenure track individuals, Franklin, was just the only tenure track faculty, with wonderful support from the lecturers. But so I've watched it grow and prosper, but I think we should never forget that the seeds that were planted, that sprouted into this, were planted by Franklin. And so what a wonderful legacy. I also have to say that what a wonderful legacy for both of you to have this scholarship set up. And I think that is a wonderful legacy. So thank you.
Well, I know I can't go rogue anymore then. Good evening, Provost Fu, Dean Lohan, Associate Dean Randalls, distinguished guests, friends, colleagues, students, ladies and gentlemen. it is my utmost joy and distinct honor to introduce, to recognize our highly esteemed, phenomenal honoree. Dr. Ng is Professor Emeritus in the Department of Anthropology and Asian American Studies at Fresno State. Dr. Ng received his master's from Harvard and PhD from the University of Chicago. Dr. Ng has served as the president of the Association for Asian American Studies, the president of the Japanese American Citizens League, the president of the from high school, and to go on to college. Dr. Ng, as Dr. Fu pointed out, was truly a pioneer in a number of fields, especially in the dynamic, multidisciplinary fields of Asian and Asian American studies. Dr. Ng's insights and wisdom about Asian American Pacific Islander communities are as vast as the oceans. Years before the Association for Asian American Studies was founded, Dr. Ng was already writing about Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders. He was already challenging their institutional marginalization and neglect within American society. When Dr. Ng became the president of the Association for Asian American Studies, he continued to lead the field by identifying the new challenges, history, politics, and he has edited over 25 individual titles. For over 40 years, Dr. Ng has supported, mentored, uplifted numerous students at Fresno State, including Asian American and Pacific Islander students. As a testament to his generosity, his dedication, and his support for students, Dr. Ng has served as a mentor and advisor to the AmerAsia Club, the Matias Filipino Students Club, the Singapore Collegiate Society, the Hong Kong Students Club, Siam Japanese American Students Club, Chinese Students Club, Cambodian Students Club, Vietnamese Students Club, the Chinese Overseas Students Association, the Hmong Students Association.
Katsuyo and Franklin. I'm going to abandon the formalities and just call you how I normally call you. So if Katsuyo and Franklin spread these seeds, I would say that I consider myself more of a sapling than a seed because I moved here sort of mid-career already. I arrived in Fresno in 2008 after having already worked in nonprofits in the LA area for about 20 years or so. And both Franklin and Katsuyo really took me under their wings very immediately, right after I arrived, not long after I arrived, I'd say, and really helped to usher in this next chapter in my life. If the first chapter was working in nonprofits, the second chapter, or third maybe, is working in higher ed in Fresno. So Katsuyo, I met through my involvement with CCAPW, Central California Asian Pacific Women. And both, actually, Katsuyo and Franklin, I met through my friendship with Debbie Tom McCrae, who has since passed, but was great friends with both, and actually was, I think, on Franklin's hiring committee when she was a student here back in the day. So I always thought Katsuyo was a great role model and a strong mentor, very outspoken, and definitely not your typical Japanese woman in that way. But as such, she's a great leader and has always been an internal advocate, especially for students, and especially for Southeast Asian students, of which she led the Southeast Asian Student Success Project for 15 years, something like that, a long time. And Franklin has always been a very quiet, steady presence, always wearing that blue button-up shirt with short sleeves. I think he has long sleeves on tonight. But his very steady presence really paved the way for countless other people. And many people might not know this, but he defended and protected Asian American studies on this campus for the 40 years that he was here. And Asian American studies has not always been a very popular field. Now, grateful. And he gave me my first teaching experience when I moved to Fresno, and really helped me start this next chapter in my life. So now I am a full-time instructor at Fresno City College, and I probably would not be where I am today had it not been for Franklin's mentorship and his guidance throughout the years. And he continues to check in with me over email, and we offer to meet, and we meet at Starbucks because he has a gold card. I think it's his wife's, actually. So. But I love meeting with Franklin and catching up on things, and hearing his very wise counsel at all times.
Thank you. My name is Elizabeth. I am lucky enough to be the Dean of the College of Social Sciences. And like so many of you tonight, I've been moved to awe at the impact of careers. I've been moved to tears more than once, so I'm sorry for the people who are sitting beside me. I've been moved to laughter and joy. So thank you all for sharing that with us. Dr. Bont asked me to talk a little bit about the importance of awards and scholarships for the Asian American and Asian student populations. We know that scholarships matter. We know that awards matter. They support our students by making college more affordable. And in some cases, they even make it so that college becomes a choice that students and families can make. And we also know that financial support matters tremendously for Asian American and Asian students and families, because they experience what the research calls invisible barriers to higher education that persist throughout their entire college career. Now, because I'm a social scientist, I had to go, and I'm going to give you the reference just so you all have it. But according to a survey conducted by the Asian and Pacific Islander Scholarship Fund, which is the nation's largest nonprofit provider of scholarships for Asian American and Pacific Islander students, the vast majority of Asian American students are worried about paying for college. And many are loan averse. About 47% of Asian American students say they won't take out more than $5,000 in loans to pay for college. And 55% of them responded to say that they were unable to attend the institution of their choice to continue to pursue their education as they continue to craft their future. When we know that Asian Americans who never attended college earn about a third less than Asian American students who attended some college, and that Asian American students who graduated with a college degree or credential earn about two-thirds more than than people who didn't graduate with that degree or credential. We know that scholarships and awards matter. When we know that scholarships and awards reduce not only the financial burden for our students, but also all of the emotional anxiety, all of the extra things that we ask students to do when finances are a concern, we know that scholarships matter. When we know that our students stay here and help build a strong Central Valley, and in turn continue to make college an attainable thing for everyone in our community, we know that scholarships matter. And when we know that we can use this scholarship to continue to build a legacy, right? To continue to connect past work to future students, we know that scholarships and awards matter. So thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to this wonderful event that has been, we've been working on this for a while, and it's so amazing, and we're so grateful to see so many people in the room, especially with smiles on your face, except when people talked about mentorship like Misty and Fong, and I started crying, and I'm like, is my mascara waterproof or not? I don't know. But thank you so much for coming here to celebrate these two amazing individuals, Dr. Howard and Dr. Ng. My name is Dr. Amrit Diol. I am actually a former student of Fresno State myself. Yes, I have many mentors in the room. Mentors that were my mentors when I was an undergrad and mentors. But it is a gorgeous place in terms of what it has to offer the world. In terms of all of the production that we participate in and we spread throughout this country and abroad, but also through our communities and through our people that make that happen. Central Valley has been home to Asian Americans for over 100 years, and that's not just one community, that is many, many communities. When I got hired here, we went through orientation, and I learned even new facts about the Central Valley. We have over 200 languages and dialects just here. It is an amazing, amazing place to be, and our students often come from the Central Valley. And when they leave, they go back into the Central Valley to serve this population because they believe in it, right? And so Asian Americans, to give a brief history. I am a historian through training. I'm sorry. I feel like that's coming through. So everything I talk about is always like over 100 years ago. But even in this case, Asian Americans have been in the Central Valley for over 100 years, and they have been leaders in all industries that have kind of swept through this ship for students and award, so that students who come through will always have access to this type of financial support. So I will just take another minute just to say thank you so much for your legacies. I am so honored, and what a privilege it is for me to stand here and thank my mentors, because we have mentors. And often the case is that people do not. And often the case, we don't have the time to celebrate our mentors with them. So thank you so much. Please do take a chance to look at our scholarship. Please contribute if you can, and please do spread it throughout your network. Thank you.
I was at UCLA, and all these anthropologists would like sit with me well after 9 p.m. and I was like this little girl from the Midwest, and they would just like, now I think, wow, they're like really famous. And I know that that's what Dr. Howard and Dr. Ng did to multiple students, thousands of students. I wish I could say thank you. I wish I could say, hey, you changed my life, Diego Vigil. You changed my life, Dr. Chavez. So now we're gonna open it up to audience members. This is the time. Dr. Cha, if you'd like to come up. Anyone can come up now and say anything they want. A thank you, perhaps, to.
Everybody, amazing. I don't know what I should say, everyone. Every one of you really, from my bottom of my heart, really so many years from the beginning that I don't know anything, even English, okay? To start with nothing, just one message that she touched about. But so look at so many people that I connect with this community. Each one of you really give me such a input how I can work diverse, different people who are here from different region, different world. That's really I walked through so many years, and now look at this. I'm so touched, each one of you, and thank you very much. It's a wonderful opportunity, and Asian American Study Group, and also community people, and each one of you that I may not really personally reach, but really have some input all those years. Thank you very much.
Sorry, going for so much.
I feel very honored that so many of you came to celebrate Dr. Katsuyo Howard and my legacy. I really feel kind of embarrassed by all this. The thing is, I like to avoid the spotlight, actually. I like the shadows. But the thing is that you did me a great honor by being here today. And really, I have to say that the community here in the Central Valley and friends and acquaintances like yourself made my work and my life here a joy and a celebration. So I really feel that it was all of us working together that helped to make this a better place. So I really want to thank you for being here to honor me with your presence and honoring Katsuyo Howard's presence as well. So thank you very much.
So if you didn't know, we actually recently submitted the new major, Asian American Studies and Asian Studies. And we are continuing on on your legacy because we are the seeds. We are the baby forest that you created. And so I'm gonna start a chant. You're gonna say matters, and I'm gonna say Asian studies, and you say matters, okay? So we'll do a chant of 9, and then we'll be done. And if the food is outside, Dr. Katsuyo's favorite, Dr. Friendly's favorite. One last surprise. And also I want to thank Professor Thomas Ellis for helping with the chant. But we have one sonic surprise, so that we're not gonna say that, but after you eat your food, if you hear anything, head to the music, okay? All right, so we're gonna end it with this way. Again, Dr. Howard, we love you. Dr. Ying, I know you're embarrassed. We're also embarrassed, okay? We're all embarrassed, okay? All right, ready? Asian studies matters. Asian studies matters. Asian studies matters. Dr. Ying matters. Dr. Ying matters. Dr. Ying matters. Dr. Howard matters. Dr. Howard matters. Dr. Howard matters. Thank you. We'll have the first 3 rows go, and then we'll call the second 3 rows after. So let's have the first 3 rows go. So you got sound to eat. And then everyone else sit down. We'll have thanking everyone, our ancestors. And so taiko drumming is very mystical and has a lot to do with Japanese culture. So obviously we want to admire and thank you. So thank you, Dr. Howard, for putting all the seeds. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Ying. I know you're embarrassed, so am I. Okay, so thank you. Okay. All right, guys, let's all thank them both and give them a hand.